Podnews Weekly Review, use its chapters.
This is the Podnews Weekly Review, live at the podcast show in London with James Cridland and Sam Sethi.
I'm James Cridland, the editor of Podnews.
And I'm Sam Sethi, the CEO of TrueFan.
In the chapters today, Apple Podcasts and HLS and all of that. Plus, we speak to Rox Codes, not his real name, from Flightcast, as well as lots more from the podcast show. This podcast is sponsored by Buzzsprout, with the tools, support and community to ensure you keep podcasting. Start podcasting, keep podcasting with Buzzsprout.com.
Live from the Talking Podcast business stage at the podcast show. This is the Podnews Weekly Review.
Mr. Sethi, how are you?
Knackered. Absolutely knackered, but very happy.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful few days. My liver has not thanked me, but other than that, it's very good. What has been your highlight, James?
Oh, I think plenty of highlights here. All kinds of things going on, obviously. We've had lots of talk about video because, of course, video is the thing. But also we've seen Janine Wright from Inception Point AI only about an hour and a half ago.
Wearing garlic, you're okay.
which was quite a thing. And of course, the results of the Podnews report card.
Yes, well, that kicked off the week. So what was the week or the day or the show? What was in the Podnews report card?
Well, lots of things in the Podnews report card, including a lot of very much better scores for YouTube, which was fascinating. Spotify
seeming... Or you going to say just better scores for you, I was thinking.
Spotify slumping a little bit because they haven't really launched anything over the last year or so, but Apple Podcasts doing phenomenally well. It seems that podcast creators really like Apple Podcasts right now. I think particularly because of the video announcements, but also because of the live timed links and stuff like that. And the other things that they've been adding all year. So, yeah, it's been a super exciting thing.
And how did YouTube come out in all of that report as well?
YouTube ended up, for the first time, being second overall. So it's always been Apple Podcasts, then Spotify, then YouTube. This year, for the first time, YouTube ended up being number 2, which is a big thing. So I think that's probably just more people using YouTube more than anything else, but that's been super interesting.
Last question in the report card. Was there anything in there that you thought, oh, that surprised me?
I think it was interesting seeing some of the Apple Podcast scores going down, particularly around support and creator support and that sort of thing. There is a lot of that that Apple does very, very well, and it was interesting to see that going down. But, you know, these numbers are always, you know, I think you need to have a look at the trends. But I think it was, you know, it was really interesting. I've shared them with Apple, I've shared them with Amazon, I've shared them with YouTube. That's all that we need to worry about, right? And so all of those companies have been super interested in the results anyway.
And if you wanted to share them with the audience, where would they go and find them?
Oh, thank you very much for asking. Podnews.net/report card.
I think we've done this before.
Is the place you would think? Although I'm kind of feeling that we possibly should have spent more time in rehearsal. So that is all good. But there's also been news about video from all kinds of people, haven't there?
There have. I mean, we've seen some really interesting announcements from a company called Flightcast, who've announced video HLS across all platforms. That's really exciting. Captivate and Amazon even have joined the party as well. So some of them have added support for something called the alternative enclosure. James, what is the alternative enclosure?
So the alternate enclosure, and it's the alternate enclosure, not the alternative enclosure, I know. So the alternate enclosure is a way for you to basically say in your RSS feed, okay, here's our main audio, that's all fine, and then here are some alternatives. And the alternative might be video, it might be audio in Dolby Atmos in the future, it might be a really low quality, low bandwidth version of your audio if you want to offer that. That's what the alternate enclosure can offer. But of course, course, that means that that's a route of getting video into additional podcast apps. So apps like Fountain, apps like Pocket Cast, I believe, is going to announce this soon, but hasn't quite yet. But everybody seems to say that Pocket Cast is going to announce it. So who am I to say no? Those sorts of podcast apps. There's another one that I can't quite remember. It begins with a T.
Transistor.
So True Phones, of course, all of those are supporting the alternate enclosure. But it's super exciting, and I think super exciting to hear Flightcast really pushing it with basically saying, we're not going to charge any more money.
Well, I'm going to question that.
So who do we have on stage?
We have the wonderful Rox Codes. He's the CEO and co-founder of Flightcast. Thanks for joining us, Rox.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you have announced support for the Apple HLS video.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Yeah, as of Monday this week, we support video at Apple Podcasts. We pre-processed it for every single channel or every single show running on Flightcast. So all their episodes are already baked HLS, ready to go. So you can get your entire back catalog and show video in Apple Podcasts in about 4 minutes. And it's in 4K. It's basically no file limit, 60 gigabyte file limit. And
there is a limit then.
Yeah, well, that limit's because Spotify has a 60 gigabyte file limit, and it would be really inconvenient to have two different numbers. But we're not charging hosting or bandwidth costs, so it is effectively included in all existing Flightcast plans. Video storage, we were already doing giant video storage. It's nothing new.
Just for clarity, you also support the alternate enclosure as well.
Yes, so we did a simultaneous release of Apple Podcasts video and support for HLS video, because why not? And we've got, interestingly, about twice as many people doing video in HLS as we do doing video in Apple as of right now. Okay. So I think we have we're only a few days in, so I checked the numbers a couple days ago, but like within 2 days, we had like 20% of people had already turned on Apple Video, and like 40% of people had turned on HLS video. I think just because they maybe forgot their password on Apple Podcasts.
So, as Stephen from Diary of a CEO, is all of his content now available that way?
No, but it could be within a moment if they chose to. But obviously, independently, they're making the decision if they want to do Apple Video. But they can now. Okay.
And now you also on Spotify and YouTube as well. So it's upload once, distribute everywhere, right?
Yeah, we have finally hit the point of actually everywhere. There are no further hills to climb. There are no more mountains to see. It's YouTube video, it's Spotify video, it's Apple video, it's HLS video, which counts as all the other possible videos. So we're done. So that's it. We did it.
So when you look at this as the next stage of where Flightcast is, what comes next for you as Flightcast?
Oh, that's such a great question. Thank you for asking that. I think this was like a huge undertaking, because even though we've called it video first, in my heart, that's never what the company was meant to be, but it was what it had to be to get to where we're going now, which is a largely growth and analytics platform. Because the whole thing was, I'm going to connect all the platforms together, and I might as well let you publish to all of them, because then I can get all the data in from all of them. And if I have that raw data from Apple HLS and that raw data from those listeners, I can do so much with that to assist with growth, to like teach you about your show, like really help you understand your audience. And we've already had like people meaningfully change content strategy just on the analytics we could provide today. And now add in all the HLS stuff, add in all that YouTube data, all that thumbnail data, it could be a hosting platform that tells you your thumbnail is bad, this intro is good, people don't like this episode here because of their comments, all in one shot, right? And that becomes very, very valuable, especially when you look at the whole back catalog. So we're going to do a lot of like show level concepts, a lot of really trying to help you make this a better episode, really trying to help you figure out what works, what doesn't. And I want the platform to be the reason you grew an extra 10% this year.
So with HLS being a 6-second package, you can say number of plays, listen time, watch time, consumption as well. So can you show within the episode, maybe this chapter dropped and that chapter was successful?
Yeah, HLS is awesome. So you literally, by about a 6-second fraction, can say a retention graph, right? The retention graph we'd be used to uploading to YouTube, you can just make that now. And not only can you make that, you can even differentiate it between audio and video, because the way that HLS works for Apple specifically, if you lock your phone, it stops downloading the video. It only downloads the audio until you unlock your phone, which means we can make a graph that shows you people unlocked their phone to look at the podcast for this 30 seconds. And that's like what greater signal could you have for make a clip from that, right? Like crazy data.
So are you also doing dynamic ad insertion in the way that Apple has with Acast and with AdsWiz? So with HLS, will you be able to give advertisers back a greater return on investment by telling them that the ad was actually played and how long it was played?
Yeah, so we did all the monetization from day one. So we took all the audio ads and then you add like a still video, like advertisement, your video will continue. That's pretty much what everybody's done to turn the audio ads into video ads. So we did that. Then we also support video ads now. So you can upload like a sponsorship that's video and it will show up in your Apple video dynamically. From a tech perspective, for Apple, it's in interstitials. For RSS, it's in discontinuities because that way it's not marked for the RSS feed. And in terms of, impact on revenue and like, are we able to get a higher CPM and everything, TBD. But in terms of guaranteeing that it actually happened, at least if it was streamed, yes. Apple still does auto downloads. Those auto downloads are still audio by default. They're downloading the audio from your video. So in those cases, we have the same info that we did. But any scenario that is streamed now, any scenario where you're hitting play on Apple Podcasts and you didn't pre-download it, yeah, we'll have that info.
My last question before James then, where are you getting your inventory for the advertising?
Well, the inventory is the shows. If you mean like where I'm getting the ads from, like I have various different programmatic partners. We've actually gone like really deep into programmatic advertising. I don't talk about it much because I don't feel like it's a highlight of the platform, but we work with a ton of different programmatic advertisers through Vast. We even actually allow you to do custom Vast. So, a lot of hosting platforms are largely ad sales companies, right? So they say like, yeah, you're going to use our ads. Flightcast doesn't. So I say, you can bring your own ads if you want to. So you can actually go work with any company. You could go call up Red Circle, say, hey, I want your ads. And you can plug them into Flightcast through Vastag. And we will get no revenue off of that. And that's completely fine with me. So if you're Diary of a CEO who can maybe go get a higher CPM because you're super premium and can maybe convince an advertiser you're worth talking to special, then go get your higher CPM, bring it over. Great. Like you deserve that. You earn that. I want you to get that maximum revenue. But we have enough fill rate for everything else.
So how much is Flightcast if people want to move over to there? I mean, obviously, Buzzsprout is an excellent podcast host, which I'm sure you agree with. But if people were, just because they wanted to try something else, what sort of costs are your...
If I were to ever fathom such a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you didn't want to start podcasting or keep podcasting.
No,
and you instead wanted to Flightcasting. Nope, didn't land. But you could, Flightcast starts at $50 a month. If you do a year, it's $42 a month for the basic plan. That covers everything, and you get 50,000 downloads a month. So for pretty much every show that's starting out or any like small or like growing shows, that's great. And then it's $50 a month for the basic, $100 a month for Pro, where you start to get into the clips, and then $250 a month for Legend, where you get as many clips as we can physically do, and also a lot more download capability. And then Enterprise from there. From there, call me.
Yeah, and I think 50,000 downloads would just about be enough for this show, wouldn't it?
Just pushing it.
This episode specifically.
Yeah, this episode specifically. Absolutely. If it records correctly this time.
Now, that would be the first time.
Yeah, which should be good. Rox, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Sam, what else have we got?
Well, I think some of the highlights have been, and I think everyone at the show's been talking about, is AI Slop. Janine Wright. Now, I think, James, you were in the room as well.
Yes.
What was the...
It was really interesting watching Janine talk. She was there with Nikki Birch, who works on AI for the BBC, and Nikki is both producing stuff but also thinking very carefully about the ethics behind that and everything else. It was a really interesting time. I mean, we've got an audience. We might as well find out what some of the audience thought about it. I'm going to ask this man because he does AI as well.
John McDermott, I'm co-founder of Calirogo Shark Media, and we make podcasts.
How did you think that Janine went?
I'll steal from myself. I just threw up a Substack about it. I compared this session to how podcasting was back during the Roman Empire. There were people cheering and jeering, and it was very feisty. I think there was another hour or so to be had for that.
Absolutely.
On messaging...
It was the only session that I've seen where actually the music started playing them off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was at a session earlier in the day where the conversation was more around training LLMs. In this latter session that we're referring to now, it seemed to be more about the content desert.
Yeah.
And whether or not those two things are aligned or not, I'm not sure. I haven't had time to process it yet. So thank you for putting me on the spot. But definitely a very feisty, interesting panel.
It was really interesting, and the reason why I'm asking you, of course, is that you use AI as well, but you use AI in a very different way, don't you?
Yes, thank you. So my quick wrap here is we're a two-person company, and sometimes for shows, neither one of our voices are correct. So we'll have an AI narrator read the stuff. For an example, we did a podcast last year about what would happen if there were a new pope. And I sound like this, and maybe I could smooth it out and use it. So we used an AI narrator, and James and I have had friendly discussions about the decision process behind that. So we use that sort of thing. I have also, this is the first time I'm saying this publicly, quietly trained myself. I wrote some weather bots just to see what happened. I'm not promoting them, don't care about them. They just exist because I don't want to become a dinosaur. And I've learned how to do that. And if you connect an API to the National Weather Service and 11 Labs, you can make a weather bot. These are things that can be done.
Yeah.
So these are the ways we're using it. But it's a weather bot. It's not a doctor giving health, which is one of the things that came up during.
Which is one of the things that came up during it, and actually one of the reasons that I was interested to actually hear. I wonder if I can ask Dan. You were there and you asked Janine a question, didn't you?
I did. I'm Dan Kendall from healthpodcast.org. We curate incredible content from health professionals and health leaders, people who can speak about the patient experience as well as the professional experience of practicing health. And I spoke to Janine yesterday about having an ongoing conversation with her with the concerns that I have and many people in the healthcare industry have around the positioning of these AI characters as doctors representing medical and health content and mental health content to an audience. And I look forward to speaking with her. I express my appreciation for that, but I wanted to ask her to commit to the audience now that she knows that this content is still available and still being published. Would she commit to taking it offline? And would she further commit that these 12 humans that she says she has in this review process of reviewing hundreds of episodes per day, would she commit to being transparent about the clinical medical professionals who are reviewing that in the process that they're following?
So first of all, I'm not going to make any commitment from stage. I will commit, as I said, you and I will engage in a conversation. We will look at that, and I will commit to developing with you what the standard should be going forward. We have not taken down any content we have ever made, and that means that I have 2.5 years of, some of the stuff that we made at the beginning was frankly really bad. Somebody will listen to something and be like, I heard a show that you made and that was so terrible. Right? And so we've had a lot of debates internally about, do we go through and cull this record of everything that we have ever made, with respect to quality standards, with respect to how we've, evolved our fact-checking standards, et cetera, et cetera. And to date, we've felt like, in part, this is like a beautiful record of the way that we have evolved and the way that this technology has evolved. But the reality is that at some point, like many other companies that face this, like BuzzFeed and, other organizations that had big back catalogs of content that they had to figure out what to do with, and did it continue to meet its evolving standards as to what it should have available? We will likely go through and do some culling of our network, but we have not undertaken that effort yet.
Do you think that she gave you an answer?
I know she gave me no answer. and that is actually partly why I asked her in public. I do look forward to talking with her in private.
Indeed.
But I did want to give her an opportunity to express what I feel she may convey to me in different terms privately. Because this is a very large community, a large concern for those of us in the health community, and I think everyone should be concerned about AI characters positioning themselves as doctors.
Yeah, indeed. Does anybody have anything else other than Inception Point AI that they have really taken back from this conference? Is there anything particularly exciting to people? No. Well, that's good. Excellent. So in which case, I will say that I have spoken to many more people on the show floor. These are some of the people I spoke to.
My name is Tom Rossi. I am one of the co-founders of Buzzsprout.
And so you are here at the podcast show for the first time. What do you think?
Yes, this is my first time just checking out to see, if this is where our independent podcasters like to hang out. And so far, it's been great. Met a bunch of different people, and it's a great venue.
Are you going to be back next year?
Yet to be decided.
Oh,
I think so.
Are there lots of good speakers that you're planning to see?
No. Mostly just meeting all the different companies here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a bunch of sense. Tom, always good to see you. Thank you for your support for this show as well.
Good to see you, James.
Jay Nacklis, I'm Vice President and Consultant of Coleman Insights. We're here to present insights from a brand new study about podcast trailers.
What can you tell us?
We've always been curious about whether or not trailers drive listening intent and really what people remember from trailers. And I'm talking specifically about audio trailers. I know that there's a lot of focus on video these days, but wouldn't it be fun to actually do an audio study? So this one takes essentially an A/B test of four different shows. And we test a different variable for each of them. So one of them, for example, is AI versus authentic. One is third-person voice versus the host. One, we just take out the first 15 seconds and change that. And so for each of them, they're both the same. They're 60 seconds of audio, but we change a variable. And we don't tell the respondent what the variable is, right? We want to know what they remember. And then we ask them which one is their favorite. And then completely open-ended, what do you remember about it? And what was interesting was with all of that kind of free range, they essentially compartmentalized into 5 key themes. So we're going to show you what are the 5 things that people took away from these trailers. And then we're going to ask them what their likelihood of listening was for each of them. And so what specifically from those comments drives listening intent? Those are the lessons that are going to come from this study.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning how all of that works. Hopefully, AI does worse than human beings, but we will see what happens. Is this your first time at the London Podcast Show? It isn't, is it? You've been here before.
This is our second year. I was here last year, and in fact did a presentation of state of video podcasting last year with Steve Goldstein. We also presented a branded podcast study that I had done with a company called Munchkin, which is a baby lifestyle brand. And so it's really exciting to be back. I love this show.
Jay, it's great to see you.
Thank you, James. Great to see you too.
My name is Hiroaki Nishimura. I'm heading up B2B side of the Sony camera business at this moment.
And so Sony is here in terms of cameras and things for the first time. Why are you here at the podcast show?
Yeah, it is actually a no-brainer that we see a lot of video podcasting demand these days. And obviously, Sony has been in the industry for a while when it comes to video capturing and content creation. So we felt like this is the right timing for us to get our presence to great podcast show that we have here in London.
What are you actually showing off here?
So not only the cameras that we traditionally do a business with, but here the suite of this. Well, it's unfortunate I cannot show this on audio only setup, but we have this whole setup of cameras as well as a switching system where we can offer free of charge actually one of the applications that is called Monitor and Control, very useful for multi-camera setup, which is a typical podcast setup, video podcast setup these days. So that's something that we like to ensure that we do not only deliver the camera as hardware, but we do also offer some software solution in this space.
So you see real opportunity in video podcasting. That's obviously, why you're here. Of course, we all know Sony as, I think you can't be a proper podcaster if you don't have one of the MDR headphones as well. So Sony is very well known, I think, for some of the broadcast quality stuff that you operate.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And the pity side of it is like we are really well recognized as hardware provider, but I think we can do much more to help podcast studios with the power of software as well. That's the reason why we're trying to get ourselves in the show and get to meet and know people so that we will collect the feedback from the industry. And we'd like to move towards the next step where we can provide a further added value solution with our software. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. It's always nice to see a big brand like Sony here.
And I look forward to seeing you maybe again here next year.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for your time.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Glenn Rubenstein. I'm the founder and CEO of Adopter Media.
Glenn, what are you doing here today?
So this is our first podcast show in London, and we're really excited to be here. We've heard great things about that. There's a real spirit of community here. And I have to say the energy here, it's like no disrespect to, our friends at Podcast Movement, but Podcast Movement probably hasn't felt this way since Philadelphia, where there's this much optimism and energy and just presence of industry here. It's really just amazing to see people coming together, communicating and collaborating.
It's a really good event, isn't it? What surprised you about this event being here?
So far, it seems very interesting, the enthusiasm and interest of the people attending that really just have a curiosity to learn and discuss and figure out how to apply some of the great things that we've learned from US podcasting and podcast advertising, especially how that can be applied to the UK market. And even seeing the attendance enthusiasm at panels. I think it's, if you go to any conference about podcasting, you kind of feel like it's the same panels year in and year out. And what I like here is the panels are a little different, but a lot of this information that we think is sort of old hat is definitely new and relevant to this audience.
Glenn, it's great to see you. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
I am Nick. I'm the co-founder of Fountain, a podcast hosting platform and mobile listening app.
And what are you doing here, Nick?
Researching. I'm trying to find as many podcasters as I can and figure out which problems we can help them with, which, is hard because this place is full of media networks, advertising, tech, but there are some around.
And how are things going with Fountain at the moment? We were talking about your wonderful music event that you held a couple of weeks ago, which I know that Sam ended up going to. What's keeping you busy at Fountain right now?
We're doing a lot of things, as you can tell. A podcast company doing music events doesn't sound like something that's a natural fit, but the music event was a great success. As we were just saying just now, we're trying to really get back to the basics of like how we can help solve problems for podcasters, because I think there's a lot of unmet needs out there that maybe we aren't catering for. So really thinking about particularly like how AI slots into the podcaster's workflow, increasingly through agents and other things. Just building tools that can be helpful that maybe aren't accessible in other places.
What surprised you about the show?
I don't think anything surprised me just yet. I've only been here a few hours, but it's great to see it as busy as ever, and it's still as hard as ever to find other people. So nothing's changed there.
Absolutely right, Nick. It's good. It's really good that you found me.
Yeah, well, I've just hijacked your meeting with your person that never showed up, so it's a great chance encounter. Yeah.
Very good to see you.
Likewise.
My name is Ami Tucker. I am the executive producer for the Podcast Academy.
So the Podcast Academy is here at the podcast show again, I think, because I remember you being here last year. This is your first time, though, isn't it?
This is my first time, yes. It is awesome. I'm quite impressed with the show and the conference, the layout. Yeah, everything feels great.
Have you been stuck at the stand all the time, or have you been able to see something?
A lot of stand time, but you know what? It's really nice to talk to current members. I don't get a chance to do that. And also talk to people about what TPA is, because I think a lot of people know us through the Ambies, but it's nice to let people know that we do a lot more year round.
And you're giving away some awards at the show as well.
Yes, we gave away 2 international awards yesterday, the Impact and Governors Award. They are voted by the Board of Governors. And so we had a very mini ceremony yesterday with a very mini happy hour. It was just fun.
It's the best award to win, I believe.
I believe so.
Great to see you. I hope you maybe come back here next year. Who knows?
Yeah, I just need to bring a bucket of coffee and pour it on my head. I'll be ready. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
I'm Colin Gray, and I work in audio in general now. I'm unemployed at the moment. That's good.
We know you, of course, from Alitu and the podcast host. You are here at the podcast show. What do you think of it so far?
It's great. It's always great to catch up with everyone. I love the fact that we've got a show now in the UK that actually has the clout to attract across all the Americans, all the Canadians, everyone from around the world. So it's really cool. Yeah.
And why are you here?
I'm here I just love the industry. I like to be in audio and just look at sort of what's going on in the world, to keep up with, new products, new gadgets. It got me into in the first place has just been a nerd around equipment. That was how I started the site, the podcast. So I was reviewing mics, gear, all that kind of stuff. So it's just great to kind of catch up and see what is coming out, all the new stuff. Yeah.
So what's the ideal job for Colin as you move forward?
I think the thing I became better at than average was just coming up with the creative ideas type of thing, the strategy behind it, like trying to think of, I don't know, an idea for a show, an idea for an IP, and then actually figure out how to turn that into something that works, that actually attracts people in. It's finding that specific hook from a specific type of person. That's the bit, this as well as I, James, like so many people coming up with that. I'm going to do a show about marketing. And you're like, well, but there's a lot of them around. It's turning that into what about marketing? What's the angle? What's the creative aspect of it? All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I enjoy working with shows or brands or anything on that type of thing. Yeah, figuring that out.
Well, Colin Gray, better than average. It's been really good to see you.
Thank you, James.
So I'm Dave, founder of A Podcast Geek. We're a B2B podcast production and growth company.
Very good. And Terry?
Yes, I'm the operations manager at A Podcast Geek. So I'm looking after the day-to-day running of the company.
It sounds as if you've got a voiceover voice.
I do have a voiceover voice, and this is a real person doing a voiceover, not a synthetic voice, just for anybody that's wondering.
And are you saying that because you've seen a lot of AI here at the podcast show today?
Yeah, so we just came from a talk there from three ladies that were talking about advertising and AI and advertising, and there was a kind of a glee across the board about how they can just copy people's voices now. Not necessarily, they don't even need people's voices. They're synthetic voices with regional accents that they can change depending on the local radio station or, advertising locally through smart speakers. And really, there's no need for human beings anymore. So, where my question to them, we didn't get to ask questions at the end, but would be, where's the line? Where are we going to draw the line? As you were saying yesterday in your talk, the market's being flooded now by synthetic voices speaking to each other in podcasts. Should there be a warning label at the start? Should there be an audio warning label that you're not listening to actual human beings? So I'm becoming more and more passionate with, where is the line? Where's the morality in this using synthetic voice?
Yes, I think I may have used the phrase cavalcade of crap, yes. Which I enjoyed doing. David, what have you seen at the show?
Yeah, I'm here to really see what AI is doing in the industry now and what kind of where we're headed. And I'm just so far, the whole, not a lot of crazy innovation. It's just kind of seeing what's coming down the future. I myself personally am obsessed with Claude and code and building, helping our company get faster workflows, etc. I'm excited to see if there's any more of that today. But yeah, more leaning into AI, what we can learn from it. Not synthetic voices, but workflows and helping things get done faster and more efficiently, but always human check. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning in on to see what we can find out this. So far, not a whole lot of innovation I've seen, but the game isn't over yet.
And is this your first time?
No, we've been here 4 times. It's my 4th time here. I always love it. Great networking opportunity. Lots of opportunity to see where the trends are and what the excitement is every year. I could say AI is always going to be something of interest every year. But yeah, more so than this year than ever. Like what's happening now is the big thing.
David, Terry, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is John Rosso, and I'm the CEO of Triton Digital.
It's great to see you here, John. Is this your first podcast show, London? It can't be.
This is my second podcast show, London, James.
And how's it been for you?
It's been extraordinary. Podcast show London is either the first or maybe second most important conference of the year for Triton and Voxnest and Spreaker. We come here in strength. So as you look around our booth, you'll see we've got a lot of folks here. And we really think it's a great, super concentrated opportunity to interact with a lot of our clients, a lot of our prospects, a lot of the creators, and basically everybody in the podcast ecosystem. Great show.
And you've got a load of clients over here in Europe, haven't you?
Well, I find that I'm meeting with more New Yorkers here in London than I do when I'm sitting in my office in New York, which is not unusual for conferences. But yeah, there are a lot of folks from the States here, but also a lot of folks from many different places. It's remarkable to me how many people have traveled from as far away as Australia to get here as well.
Yes, I hear it's a thing. And in terms of Triton, I think every single week I get a press release from you in some way, shape, or form. You've just released something with Sounder AI.
That's right. Well, if you're getting a press release every week, it means we're doing our job. The announcement we made in regard to Sounder is with the Trade Desk, the largest DSP. And what that means is the Sounder contextual targeting and brand suitability data set, which is essentially an index of podcast content that scores that content against the IAB's taxonomy for brand suitability and allows you to target against contextual elements, is now available for buyers using the Trade Desk platform.
John, it's always good to see you. Have a good rest of conference. I think we're in the middle of day 2 here, and I sense that energy is beginning to flag. I don't know about you.
I'm exhausted.
It's very good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Great to see you too, James.
My name is Rune Schwartz. I run the Danish office of the production company Monk Studios.
And is this your first time here, or have you been to the podcast show London many times before?
I was here last year for the first time, but I'm enjoying this year very much. Yep.
And why are you here?
Well, to create contacts and to get insights in the business, to see where it's going. Standing in queue with you for an AI, talk is really, it says it all.
Yeah, that's how it works. What have you seen so far that you're going to tell other people about?
That's a good question. I mean, I wouldn't say that there's one particular thing, but let me just think about that. I don't.
Do you come to many of these events across Europe, or do you go over to the US or any of that?
I go to the European ones mostly, and a lot of people from overseas come here as well. I've noticed. So I guess we have some really good conferences here, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Rune, it's always good to see you.
You too, likewise.
I'm Neil Valio, and I'm the founder and director of Podnews Podcasting.
We recognise your voice from all of those voicemails, Neil. So how's it been? You've been here for the last couple of days?
Yeah, I've done both days. I was delighted to obviously have the company of yourself and Sam at the Podnews drinks with Buzzsprout, which was a wonderful chance to get together with all our friends and colleagues. And then, of course, the show. Well, that's its own beast, isn't it? It's been good. It's been really good this year, actually. I'm delighted that the team have really taken on board some of the past comments about the show and really sort of embraced the education for creators as well as the business side of it, which has really been the standout point for me this year. It's been really good.
What in particular has been good? What in particular have you been enjoying?
What I've really been enjoying, actually, is how there has been more of an emphasis on educating around with the video stuff. I know that you're with me on this, that like you don't have to do video, and that seems to have been the narrative of the industry, that if you don't do video, you're cooked, because that's where you're going to get found from now on. But what I've really enjoyed is people have been sort of explaining the benefits of being on YouTube, but not sort of like making creators that don't have the budget feel small, which I felt was something that was around maybe last year and the year before. So what I've really enjoyed is people sort of coming at this and having the opportunity to say, okay, can I add video to what I'm doing? I don't need to add video, but is there an advantage to it, which I think is really beneficial.
Will you be back again next year, do you reckon?
Absolutely. Every single year I will be here.
It's always good to see you, Neil.
You too, James. Take care. Thank you.
So, Jason Carter, co-founder of the Podcast Show London.
Is it your first time at the podcast show this year?
No, James. It's the 5th time.
How's it gone so far?
It's been brilliant. I'm over the moon, I have to say. It's our 5th year. It's grown as an event. It's grown. I'm absolutely bowled over by the international representation here. Just everywhere you move, you hear a different voice from Austria, Germany, Australia. So really blown away by that, and particularly last night, all the different events and parties that were happening. I'm hearing people saying that I heard one individual say that he flew from Germany as a top German executive to meet Germans to do business because it was easier to access them at our show. So really over the moon with that, and it really feels like the show has become that just destination for the international community.
Now, normally we would ask at any show, we would ask, how many people have come, but that's a pretty static number, isn't it?
It is a static number, yeah. It's just over 6,000. It fluctuates a bit, but as you say, we keep it static really because we don't really want to go beyond that with this particular event because it starts to become a bit uncomfortable at the show. But it's very busy. And people have really got into the swing of it this year. It feels like delegates are returning year on year, know where they're going, know what they're doing, likewise with partners. So, yeah, I'm really over the moon. We're still not finished, a couple of hours to go, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And any changes that you're planning to make for next year? Any announcements that you're making?
I said this to Sam Sethi. Watch this space. Yeah, we are developing some ideas, and you'll be the first to know, as ever.
Jason, it's really good to catch up. Many congratulations. What a great show.
Thank you very much, Joe. Cheers. Thank you.
The Pod News Weekly Review with Buzzsprout. Start podcasting, keep podcasting.
The negative to Amazon this week, James, is that there's more AI slop coming from Amazon. What do you think on Amazon's Alexa Plus now being able to produce AI-generated podcasts?
Yeah, I think this is interesting. This is news that has literally broken over the last 24 hours. Amazon's Alexa will now be able to produce what they call podcasts, extended answers on any number of different topics, which is essentially Janine Wright's, shtick that has been completely compiled using AI. And it just seems. I mean, what did you take from the announcement that Amazon gave?
I think they're struggling with the Alexa. I mean, anyone who's got an Alexa, I have 6 at home, 5 of them are now collecting dust. The other 2 do timing for my cooking and maybe a bit of music occasionally. I think Amazon failed dramatically in the home automation market, and they've had to start from scratch again. And I think they're struggling to find a business model around the Alexa. And this may be a way to get people to start to create a lot of silly content that they can use.
Yeah.
I think this is just going to be another one of those moments where people use it, find it exciting for 5 minutes, and then it collects dust again.
Is it a podcast, Sam?
No. Okay, I'm going to define it. I think Janine Wright said it this morning, right? I think in a world of AI, the more human-to-human connection we can have, the better it is. And I think podcasts are human. We can have content that is given to us from a computer, but I wouldn't call that a podcast.
Yeah. Does anybody have some thoughts about that? That was a round of applause. And you know what that means? That means you get the microphone to explain why the round of applause. What do you think a podcast is?
My name's Indy. I run an online garden club called the Tender Shoots, and I think a podcast is something for my ears when my eyes.
Genius.
My eyes are busy.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
For your ears when your eyes are busy. That's great. I've never heard that before.
I think I might trademark it. I love listening to podcasts when I'm gardening or reading or whatever, and I just get really frustrated by the amount of just auto-generated stuff, not just commercials, but also even on YouTube these days when I'm looking to do some research, I have to sift through hundreds of videos that are AI slop until I find somebody who's genuine. So, definitely. I love anything that's human generated, really. And if they could actually advertise it and mark it as AI generated, then I could do a filter. Unfortunately, things like YouTube don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And I think, there is, and in fact, there's a story today in the Podnews newsletter all about the global podcast economy, which is now $9.2 billion. So the amount of money that we all make in podcasting, I'm sure that most of it is in this room. $9.2 billion. And one of the things that Hanan Lopez from Owl & Co., who has produced this data, has said is that actually one of the problems now in compiling this data is not quite sure what a podcast is. And I think that is, it is something that I've been saying quite a lot, but I think that that's certainly something that is worthwhile just sort of bearing in mind.
Spotify just released labeling for AI content now, and they are very heavily leaning into the idea that this is human-based content, that they need to make clear delineation
And this is for podcasts now, isn't it?
It is, yes. And they've also brought out Spotify DJ for podcasting, so I don't know what that's going to do. But I think it's good that Spotify have come out with labeling. Now, one of the other highlights from this week has been a meeting for the Podcast Standards Project, which is an austere group of hosts and apps that get together. And one of the hot topics last year was HLS, and look where we are today. And one of the hot topics this year was AI labeling and also AI disclosure. And I think we'll see a lot more hosts and a lot more apps making that available. RSS.com, Spreaker and TrueFans have already implemented a pilot project to show how that works. Maybe that's why Janine left Spreaker. But other than that, I think it's a good step forward because you said, Indri, you want a filter to be able to then take the labeling and then filter it out. I think that's the natural evolution of where we will go with this. It's just going to take another 6 months probably for it to permeate through the whole industry.
Yeah, no, certainly. I'm sure that that's the case. $9.2 billion of that podcast revenue. But interestingly, $2.2 billion is not advertising. So it's everything else. It's to do with money that you might get from Patreon and supporting cast and all of that. So I just thought that that's also interesting in terms of that. Shall we move on to the Podnews inbox? Because there's some good news in there.
Yes, there is. Thank you, James Preston White. What's he done?
James Preston White has become our latest power supporter number 25. Can we have a round of applause for James from Lean and Loaf? Lean and Loaf are the company that make some great podcasts, make some great video podcasts for all types of people, including iHeart. And I gather, this may be news that I'm not allowed to tell you yet, but I gather that they've just sponsored the Podbiz podcast as well, and they'll be making that as well. NJ Belenki was in here, but she has now run away.
Spend all the money.
So there you go. She's gonna miss her moment of fame, moment of me mentioning it on stage. So that's a thing. I did take a look through some of the messages that we had, mostly from our friend the Ugly Quacking Duck, and he has said he's given us another row of ducks, which is very exciting, and said something like he wasn't sure if the boosts were working. They are working. Thank you very much for that. If you do get value from what we do, the Podnews Weekly Review, separate from Podnews, Sam and I share everything from it. We really appreciate your support, so thank you for that. And you can become a power supporter like James has just done at weekly.podnews.net. Gosh, this script is 3 years old, isn't it? It's fantastic. Now, so what's happened for you this week, Sam?
I think the Podnews drinks was great. We did those on Tuesday night at the castle. Thank you for everybody who came along to those. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry to those who didn't come along to it. You missed out. And thank you to Buzzsprout, our sponsors, who also paid for the drinks.
Yes, which was super good. So yes, very much enjoyed that. Very much enjoyed also seeing loads of ads for podcasting around the venue here. Very clever. Anybody would think that Global own half of the outdoor advertising and Bauer Media own the other half. But really clever to see tons of advertising, whether it's in the Tube. Fun fact, Angel Underground Station has the longest escalator on the Tube system.
Fun fact, it's now closed.
Let me just correct that. Fact. Yes, that was my little joke. Yes, go on.
No.
Oh, you've only just got it now.
Yes.
yes, brilliant.
No, I was going to ask you what you've been up to.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes.
I think we do this every week, wouldn't you?
I ended up going to. I ended up landing on Sunday morning. First thing on Sunday morning, and I thought, right, this is going to be really easy. I'm going to go in using the Elizabeth line into London and then catch a train from London Paddington to Bristol. And I will drop my bag off at my hotel and everything's going to be easy. Of course, the Elizabeth line wasn't working. And then I went, had to go via the Underground to Paddington. And guess what? Half of the trains in Paddington weren't working as well. And I thought, welcome back to the UK. That's definitely how that worked. But everything worked on the way back, so that's okay. There was actually a ooh from the audience there. Oh dear, too soon. Sorry. No, so that's been fun, but it's just been great to have so many talks with so many people. catch up with all kinds of people. The shy and retiring Neil Velio, who's over there in the audience. It was great to sit next to him during Janine Wright's thing, and him loudly applauding anything that anybody else had said, which was particularly good. But no, it's always a highlight of my week, and that is it for this week.
And for the show.
And for the show, yes, that's right. For all of the news, of course, you can go to the Podnews newsletter at podnews.net.
If you'd like to give us feedback, or if you'd like to become a power supporter, you can go to weekly.podnews.net.
Yes.
God, my God, I'm tired. And you can send us a boostergram, or you can send us a super comment. Thank you very much, everyone who came here today, and we'll leave it at that.
Yes, and I should just say our music is from TM Studios. Our voiceover is Sheila D. Which company is doing our audio mixing? It's Aztec Event Services, once more. Excellent. And we're hosted and sponsored by our friends at Buzzsprout. Podcast hosting made easy.
Get updated every day. Subscribe to our newsletter at podnews.net. Tell your friends and grow the show. And support us. The Podnews Weekly Review will return next week. Keep listening.
I've done more prepared shows.
Did it record this time?